Val Gilbert. I want to welcome you to my live call tonight, and I'm going to talk about power phrases that make people want to join you. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing now for over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. I started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck to get started, put $200 in my business, $200 in my business. And the last almost 28 years, I've been full-time in network marketing. It's been awesome, love it. If you would like to learn more, stay on. And we talked about earlier this week about how to be more productive working from home. And then communication was last night's live that I did. If you didn't get that or catch that, do so. And Mr. Putro, is that Putro from Jakarta, Indonesia? Nice to see you. Good to see you. And then tonight we're going to talk about phrases. So I'm glad you guys are able to get on tonight. For some of you, it's today. If you're in Jakarta and Manila, like some of you on this call right now, Vera in Nigeria, I don't know what time of day it is there. Nice to see you on the call. Yeah, John, I heard about that. So, it got canceled, huh? Well, probably bad weather. So here's the thing, when it comes to prospecting, I find that what most people make the mistake doing is they talk too much. They talk too much. They talk people into looking at the presentation, and then they talk them right out of it. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? You might have some people like that in your downline. They just have to talk. I mean, some people think just the more words you use, then they're going to have to surrender and just enroll, right? So, but it really doesn't work out that way. Usually it's the opposite. They just run. So the thing is, I want you to learn this. The less you say, the more you make. The less you say, the more you make. And it's really true. So therefore, if we're going to say less words, we need to say the right words. And that's where power phrases have become really very helpful. They have been very helpful to me in my almost 40 years in network marketing. I can remember the value of power phrases going back to the 1980s. So the thing is, I want you to get good at power phrases because they have an impact and they get people's attention. You'll get their attention and they'll take a look at what you're doing. So they're very useful to you in the business. Now, other than talking too much, I find that the second most common mistake is going right into the presentation without staging the interest. Why is staging the interest so important? It's important because you want to get the person to reason on the value of what you're giving them. because unless they're in that state or that openness, it's, it's never going to get through your message. So that's why it's so important. You want to make sure that they're teachable and they find value in what you have, and that's the reason why you need to stage it, stage that interest. Most important. So what you should say in phrases, power phrases that is something that would create curiosity. So that could be a statement, that could be a question. In any of those two areas there. So let's go through some of them now and just, have some fun with it anyway. And that's all I ever do with power phrases, just have fun with them. Romel from the Philippines, nice to see you. So, for example, some of you might have, I'm going to get my water. Some of you might struggle with follow-up. And maybe because they haven't made a decision to join and you're wondering why, and you keep calling them back and you keep calling them back. The problem is when you call them every day, it's going to make it look like you have all the time in the world. They're going to wonder why you got all the time in the world, and for some reason they must be your only prospect. Can you imagine the pressure they're under? Unless I join this person and go to work, they're going to starve to death. So anyway, so here's what I have done many times is you must give these people a break. Give it a few days, 3 days maybe, and then just call them back. And the power phrase is, hey, I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back with you, but blah, 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 blah. And it's whatever you want to add after that. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, John, I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back with you, man, but... And then you fill in the blanks. It could be, I've been so busy with this business, this incredible growth that I'm having right now. I'm so excited, with everything that is going on, but I didn't want to forget you. And I apologize for not getting back with you. I've got some time, John. Tomorrow morning, I've got about 10 or 15 minutes. So if you're around in the morning, let's say 9:15, I can do it then. Or if that doesn't work, tomorrow night, I've got some time between 9:15 and 9:30. Which would work best for you? I like the odd times, not the even hours, because then they're wondering, well, what's he doing between 9 and 9:15 or 8 and 8:15? I like the odd times anyway, because it makes you look like you're handling your time in increments because you're doing things with them. You're a productive person. But anyway, when you call them back and you give them that space and you apologize and then just say, because things are going so great, and they should be, then it creates curiosity. The fear of loss sets in, and they thinking, wow, why are they doing so great? And how dare they be doing so great without me? How could they do it without me? I'm missing out. So I like that power phrase. That's one of the power phrases that makes things happen and gets people to take a look at your business. Okay, so let's go into the second. I'm only going to cover maybe 8. There are others, but I just was thinking of these. Anyway, these 8. And that, the second one, and you've heard this before too. Second power phrase is, you wouldn't be open, blah, 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 blah. What I like about you wouldn't be open, or you would be open. It's however you want to phrase it, but I think would be, if you would be open. What I like about this phrase, it's not pushy, it's not salesy, it's focused on the invitation, not on a presentation. So a lot of people like to go straight to the presentation. I like to focus on the invitation. So if we use the phrase, would you be open? What's cool about that is the fact that people like to pride themselves into be open-minded. Of course I'm open-minded. I'm cool, man, right? So that's always the impression people like to give, that they're a very open-minded person. Who would be a closed-minded person, right? So would you be open is a very, very good phrase that I like to use. And so, and you could add other words on to that. Would you be open to other ways of making money if it didn't interfere with what you're already doing? See, that's important. If it didn't interfere with what you're already doing. So because a lot of people think, oh, wow, what is it? Because it might take up time and I don't have a lot of time. So that squashes that fear right away, which makes them what? More open-minded. So would you be open to other ways of making money if it didn't interfere with what you're already doing? I love that. I love that phrase. As a matter of fact, Ray Higdon uses that a lot. What about a third phrase, another power phrase that we could use? What did you like best? Now that's a phrase. What did you like best? In other words, when you took somebody either to a presentation or you sent them a video, and then you're getting back with them and you're asking them, what did you like best about it as a follow-up? What I love about this is it encourages a positive response to that presentation, to that video, or if it was a presentation that you took them to. This is better than what has been done in the past when we thought it was more intelligent to ask them, what do you think? What do you think? Because that usually encouraged a what? A negative response, not a positive one. So the what did you like best encourages a positive response where they're looking for something in the presentation that they like, instead of what do you think, and we're asking them to be a critic. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to find, well, I'm not really, what I think. I've heard about those things before, and people didn't make it in those type of businesses. And I mean, is it legal? I'm not sure. There's all kinds of things that it creates questions, unnecessary questions. What we want to do is we want to keep them on track. So we want them to find something positive. We want to focus on that positive. Good evening, Mindy. Nice to see you. Now here's a fourth phrase that I like, and that is, I'm in a hurry. I'm in a hurry. Listen, here's the thing. I want all of you to be in a hurry. Again, you don't need to have too much time on your hands. You don't need to be idle. That's a problem if you are. But always be in a hurry and give the impression always to your prospects that you are in a hurry. So if you give that impression, first of all, it gives you some posture. It makes it look like that you got a lot of great things going on in your business, and you're in demand. You're in demand. So it's really a privilege to be able to spend some time with you. So I could call somebody, let's say John, say, hey John, I'm in a hurry, man, but you know what? I was just thinking about you, and there's something I want to run by you. Have you got some time later today or this evening? That's one way that you can handle it. You can handle it by, hey, I'm in a hurry, John, but I want to send you something if you're open to looking at it, but I don't have time to discuss it with you. Do you have 10 minutes or 15 minutes? I could send you a link and I can get right back to you after that. Would that work for you? Again, you're in a hurry. I'm in a hurry. I'm about to get on a call, John, but I was just thinking about you. Do you have some time where this afternoon, let's say anytime after, let's say it's 2 o'clock your time now, Anytime after 3, you would have some time to chat. Again, if they ask what is it about, see, again, that's why you said you're in a hurry. You got to get on a call. Say, well, I'd love to explain it to you, but like I said, I'm in a hurry. I gotta get on a call now. I'll tell you what. If you got 10 minutes, I'll send you a link, and I'll call you if you have time to look at it. I'll call you right after you viewed that video. Again, you're in a hurry. Be in a hurry. Now, here's the 5th phrase. You wouldn't know anybody who would want to. You wouldn't know anybody who would want to. I've been using that phrase for, I don't know, since the 1980s. You know, anywhere I would go, if I'm in a restaurant talking to a waiter, or if I'm in the grocery store and I'm in, and the guy's bagging the groceries and I'm just chit-chatting with them, or just anywhere. And then usually sometimes I would change it around, but a lot of times I would say, hey, you wouldn't know anyone who would want to earn an extra $1,000 working part-time, would you? And many times when I would use that phrase, hey, you wouldn't know anybody who would want to earn an extra $1,000 working part-time, and not much time, just a little time. They look at me and say, yeah, me? Many times they would say, yeah, me. There's something about a third-party question. I guess it creates a fear of loss. Like, hey, why is it I'm not included in this? You want to know if I know somebody? Why can't it be me? And many times they'd say, well, yeah, I'm interested. I could use an extra $1,000 a month. And I look at them sort of surprised. I said, oh, really? Great. And then I would either set a time to meet with them, or, of course, today we just send them a link, right? Send them a link to a video, and then we follow them up. I find that works very, very well. Third-party questions, and if you use that phrase, you wouldn't know anybody, is very powerful, very powerful. So here's the 6th phrase. This may or may not be a fit for you. Some of you use that. Hey, it works. If it works, it works. And what I like about that is that we're not using any pressure on that person, and we're giving them a way out, and they'll love you for it. That's right. You're giving them a way out, and they will love you for it. This may or may not be a fit for you. And it takes pressure off you, because you don't have to, solicit them or use any kind of sales pitch and any pressure, any leverage like that. I just love that approach. This may or may not be a fit for you. So you could say, this may or may not be a fit for you, but I wouldn't feel good about myself if I held back from telling you something that might benefit you. That's a good warm market phrase that I like to use. But really, it could be used on anyone. But that's a pretty powerful phrase. This may or may not be a fit for you. How about the 7th one? If I, would you? If I, would you? Again, this is a no pressure approach. It's very simple, and it's a good feel. And so, it goes something like this. If I sent you a link to a 10-minute video, would you have time to watch it now? So if I sent you a link to a 10-minute video, would you have time to watch it now? If they say yes, let them know that you're going to follow up in 11 minutes, a minute or two after they saw the video. Why? Because it's fresh in their mind. And again, you want to do what? Use that other power phrase. What did you like best about it? To get a what? A positive response. So now if they say, well, I don't have time, I don't have 10 minutes now. Oh, okay. Would you have time tomorrow? Yeah. What time? What time tomorrow would you have? Well, why is that important? It's important because you want to know when they saw the video. That's why. Or you want to know if they didn't see the video. So you never send the link until they're ready to look at the video. Does that make sense? And then you want to do what? Follow up immediately. Not to see what they think, but to see what they like best about it. You want to get that positive response. So if I sent you a video now, a 10-minute video, would you have time to look at it? I love using that. What about the eighth phrase? What time works best for you? I learned that, started doing that in the 1980s. I would run ads in a newspaper in Huntsville, Alabama, and I had an office downtown. And I would run ads, and they never said what I did. I just wrote out lines that would appeal to people, to the very thing that they want. That is extra income, less stress, more time. And my goal was to get the phone to ring. Just get the phone to ring so I could do what? Set up the appointment. And that's what I wanted to do, set up the appointment. And of course, they're always going to ask you, what is it about? I would never say what it's about. I'd say, it's nothing I can really explain over the phone. You really need to come down and see it in person. Now, of course, today it's different, right? So we do it differently, but it's the same principle. Same principle. We never really say what it's about until they can see the video, until they can see the presentation. But this phrase, this eighth phrase, what time works best for you? When they had asked me, what is it about? And I'd say, you know what? It's best that you come down and see it because it's not something that can really be explained. It's something you need to see. And then I would say, I have a 10 o'clock available, a 1 o'clock available, and even a 7 o'clock this evening available. Which of the three works best for you? And that was how I handled it. Which of the three works, or what time works best for you of those times? And they'd say, well, 10 o'clock. Another person answered the ad, they'd say, well, 1 o'clock. Okay, great. Well, I work during the day, so I 7 o'clock. Okay, great. Awesome. See you at 7. See you at 1. See you at 10. And that's what I would do. And I would just line up my slots, and then I would be ready to talk with them. So here's the thing. You can be flexible any way you want. You can set your time slots up any way you want when it comes to how you want to schedule your time. But just give them a choice. Give them a choice. If you just say, well, what time? When would you have some time, and what time would work best for you? You're just too open. Again, you're a professional, right? So give them a choice on your time, and then and I'll tell you, back then it was crazy because I would line up sometimes 15 people at a 10 o'clock. I would line up, it could be 20 or more at a 1 o'clock. It might be less in the evening, but every day. And then and so basically I did group presentations. How would you like to do group presentations? I would do that back in the 80s. People would come in, they don't know what this is about, and they're all, just taking a seat, and I'm doing a presentation. Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? Today it's so much easier. Today all you got to do is send them a video, but again, you want to know when they're going to see that video. So what time, when we said what time works best for you, so give them maybe some choices, and then send them that video. They agree to look at it, and then make sure you have that call scheduled. So those are 8 phrases, power phrases that I like to use and have been using actually for many years. And I find that they work very effectively with people. Again, you're talking less and you're making more, right? Power phrases help you do that because, again, it frames the interest. and it gets that person receptive to what you have. Most important, because first of all, you got to get their mind in a state of openness. If it's not open, if it's closed, then you're not going to get anywhere with that person. So that's the reason why that is so important. So anyway, talk less, make more, and then have fun with power phrases. So anyway, thank you, Eden. Thank all of you guys for getting on tonight. Now, tomorrow night, I'm not going to do anything. Thursday night, well, I'm going to do something, but I'm just not going to be on. Friday, I will, and it's going to be an open Friday. You ask a question, and I'm going to give you my answer on it, if I can. You know, I'll do my best. If it's a real technical, I don't know, question, maybe I'll have to research it, but anyway, but I'll post something Friday and you can post your questions to that. And I appreciate you guys getting on. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, all of you. Listen to Eden. She's such a sweetheart. Yeah. Hey, Chelsea, nice to see you. Thank you. And Daniette, nice to see you. All of you tonight. It's good to see you on this call. I'll talk to you soon.